Episode 5 of Black Doves begins with us in the past, and following Williams as she fled from the scene during her partner being killed at the apartment. She shows up to see Eleanor, who's down on the barge. Williams offered the Eleanor to be a partner in future to work properly. On the other hand, Eleanor also feels lonely and accepts her offer to work altogether. Eleanor asks for help, and Williams enlists her help almost immediately. Meanwhile, Eleanor and William throw some Marvel humor out as they prep for the Clark attack. With Kai Ming hiding in the bath, the pair work to try and thwart their attackers. Back in the present, Wallace leaves Danny as he has a meeting with the Chinese ambassador. The CIA chief is here too, and he's not happy about the attack against the embassy. The U.S. believes the Chinese are responsible, while the UK are vehemently against supplying military contracts to the Chinese. It's out the question. This definitely ramps up the political stakes here, and right now we're at a stalemate. After stealing a black cab, Sam, Cole, and Helen flee from their captors and show up at the safe house, which is obviously under attack from the Clarks. Helen and Cole remain in the car, while Sam scrambles inside. All of this ends with the Clarks getting Kai Ming and Eleanor, while Williams is saved by Sam. Williams is injured, and Helen decides they need to hold out at Michael's place for safety, as it's the only safe place they have left. Michael is not happy with all of this being brought to his doorstep, but he begrudgingly agrees to help all the same. The Clarks, whom we now know are behind the repair shop number, ring and want to strike a deal. They want the digital recording device in exchange for saving Kai Ming and Eleanor. Oh, and if Helen and the others don't follow through, then everyone will die. Helen suggests that the wild card here could be Trent, and if Cole doesn't follow through, then he could be killed by the Sam to shoot you in the back of head. We don't need you more. Then Sam said, find the fucking guy Trent. In secret, Helen speaks to Sam and reveals that she's messed up her end of the deal, admitting that before his death, she revealed to Jason exactly who she is. Apparently nothing was going to change between them, but a week later, Jason ended up dead. It doesn't seem like a coincidence, does it? It appears as if everything is connected here. Helen is flustered when her nanny calls, though, as Wallace is not at home, so Helen decided to go home. And Helen said to Sam, find Trent. He is only the key to get Alex Clark. When Helen came back, Wallace is not particularly happy about her not being home and tries to broach the subject of her affair. Wallace asked to Helen, are you happy with our relation? She responds that yeah, I am happy. Wallace said, is everything is perfect? Helen said, you are not perfect. We are not perfect, but I am supportive. However, Officer Perriman shows up that night and questions her involvement with the U.S. Embassy. Her name has set off a red flag, but Helen doesn't elaborate further, as she needs to put the kids to bed. And then Perriman go back. Helen received a call of Reed. It's clear that Wallace is suspicious, and he tells her he loves her and their family together. Helen looks close to actually admitting the truth, but instead she received a call and walks out to meet Reed that night, who wants to talk. Helen asks to Reed, are you working for Chinese? Reed admits to working with the Chinese, but similarly, she doesn't seem to be completely forthright. Helen brings up how the Clarks are behind this, and they need to take them out. Reed believes they're way too insulated, and she won't get anywhere with this line of thinking. The drama here, though, stems from Jason's death and the embassy's interest in Helen. Reed is concerned that Helen has broken their rules about the Doves, and she gives an ultimatum over handing over Cole at 6:30 tomorrow morning at Albert Embankment before everything escalates into an international incident. When Helen leaves, Reed rings Sam, right in the middle of his heart-to-heart with Michael. She has a final job for him, kill Alex Clark. He refuses to do so, but Reed is convinced that Helen has got too close to something too big. The Black Doves need to be protected, so this would finish the job. Cole Atwood is also part of this too, and he needs to be brought in. The thing is, Atwood is gone. Later on, we soon learn that he's returned to the embassy. Sam shows up to kill Alex Clark, but of course she's ready for him and knocks him out with her right-hand man. As for Danny, it's now clear that she's a Dove, and Reed decides to let her off the leash. Helen recalls the past with some memories with Jason. Jason gave her a gift of knuckles. Helen realizes where the recording device is and finds it at the jeweler's store, locked in the vault. However, Danny shows just as she's about to leave. Helen calls out Danny for being desperate, and the pair end up fighting. It doesn't last long, though, as Helen comes out on top. Helen said to the Danny, "When you see the Reed, you tell her that if you want to replace me, she'd better come and do it face to face." So, what's on the device? Well, it's footage of Trent killing Chun, Chinese ambassador, after he tried to scare him off from getting involved with Kai Ming. Steven Yerrick showed up with his goons, deciding to cover it up with a drug overdose. And it's clear that the PM is also involved in this too, because Yerrick called the Prime Minister to discuss the whole matter that was existed.